Yo, what's up everybody? So this is, I feel like, kind of an obligatory video just to get my final predictions out there for the conference championship games this weekend, so you guys know kind of where I stand. I'm going to be doing a lot of scouting and not making a ton of videos this week, so I want to make sure these takes are on the line so you know where I am heading into the weekend. But I will say there's going to be opportunities for you guys to ask me other questions, be it coaching hires, reactions to games this weekend, off-season questions, all that stuff throughout this week. So you obviously can leave comments down below. I'll try to answer all of those. The podcast, another great option with the mailbag question, the Fully Inflated Football Podcast. You can leave those mailbag questions on my Instagram. That's Whitman_Marcus. And then lastly, this one's a little more unique. We've actually got the live stream in the TFGO League for our third draft tomorrow night. That's Tuesday. I think it'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. But I'll be tweeting that out from the @TFGO League Twitter account. So you can hang out with me, ask some questions there. It'll be a good opportunity to talk some shop and stuff. So other reactions can be found throughout the week on other places. This video is going to be all about the conference championships, a little bit of reactions to last weekend as well. So before we hop in, please do hit that like button down below. So let's get into the conference championship games. We got Chiefs, Titans, and Packers, Niners. And let's just start in the AFC. That's the first game on Sunday. Chiefs and Titans. And the Titans, let's start on the Chiefs end of this. The Chiefs are maybe the team that's not so surprisingly here, at least from me. You know, this is a team that basically nobody wanted to give any credit to all year. They were not the narrative of the season. And throughout my power rankings all year, it was always, why are you so high on the Chiefs? And it's just goes to show, you know, people only want to look at the last 3 weeks. What have you done for me lately? All that stuff. No one wants to pay attention to roster talent, historical success, the fact that the Chiefs were battling all sorts of injuries all year. Not a huge surprise to see the Chiefs come out here and very quickly remind everyone, after one slow quarter, who the best quarterback is in the league and who the best offense in the league is, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you don't believe that, I just don't know what to tell you. They just are. And watching that game after the comeback and then in the third quarter, I'm sitting there like, Mahomes is just freaking unstoppable right now. When he is playing like this, nobody can beat this team. And that is why I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl to start the year. And I know what you're thinking. We said that about the Ravens. They're unstoppable all year too. And the Ravens are a little different. Very difficult to stop because what they do is not easy to stop. But there's a difference to me. The Chiefs beat you in so many different ways. Andy Reid's play calling, mixing in screens and all this stuff. The different playmakers that they have to beat you with. It's not just Hill and Kelsey. They can beat you with Hardman, and they can beat you with Watkins as well. And obviously Patrick Mahomes, say what you will about Lamar Jackson, Mahomes is just a better, quarterback as far as a drop back passer. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. It's just more dynamic, sees the field better, more accurate, everything. And the Ravens, while very good, and while Lamar is a dual threat quarterback, it's not the most dynamic offense. And Mike Vrabel, as we switch over to the Titans side of this, has done a phenomenal job, especially last week, saying, how are these teams going to beat us? And how can we play good defense? And they looked at the Ravens and said, the first thing we need to do is stop the read option, because no one's done that yet this year, really. You know, the Bills, the Browns, there's some teams that have contained it a little bit. But what's something I've talked about a lot is why the hell are coaches all year, they've been telling their players to just stand there when you're getting read on the read option. You know, that edge player that is the read key? They'll either just stand there and do this and be like, and then by the time they make a decision, Lamar's already run past them. Or they'll bite on the handoff and try to stop the inside. And Vrabel said, screw that. That's not how we defend this. We're going to tell these guys, if you're getting read, don't do this. Go to Lamar Jackson. And even if you miss, you're going to slow his momentum. You're going to make him juke or spin or do something. And by the time he's ready to get going again, we've got Logan Ryan. We've got Kenny Vaccaro. We've got Rashad Evans there as contained guys. And they did such a good job. And you can only do that if you've got a good interior defensive line and all this stuff. This is a different game breakdown. But once they stop that, the Ravens, they have a decent passing game. They got Marquise Brown and a beat-up Mark Andrews. But they basically said, we're going to force Lamar to beat us as a drop-back passer. We're going to take away his best options and then force guys like Seth Roberts to make plays, Miles Boykin, and they couldn't do that. Now, Vrabel might come up with a great game plan against Patrick Mahomes, but watching that game and watching the Chiefs when they are healthy like they are and clicking and at home, it's just an almost impossible offense to scheme against, and that's when you get into the running game doesn't matter, defense game doesn't matter conversation. Because the Titans have shown that, if you can run the ball and play great defense, you can win. I'll give you that. But Derrick Henry has rushed for, 200 yards in the last couple games. He's been incredible. But here's the deal. Against the Patriots, they held him to 13 points. I'm taking out the pick six at the end. Or, whatever. They won 14-13. They did hold the Patriots to 13, but they won scoring 14 points. And then against the Ravens, they scored some more points, but a lot of turnover luck. They had short fields and stuff. Hard to rely on that against the Chiefs. So, yes, it's a formula to win, playing defense, running the ball well. But the Titans have had about 250 to 300 yards of offense in the last two games. They've scored, 14 to 20 points, roughly. The turnovers led to more points for the Titans. I get it. But here's the difference. You try to beat the Chiefs with 250 yards of offense and 14 points. I don't care if you control the ball. I don't care if Derrick Henry's running dudes over. The run game just isn't as efficient as the passing game. The Chiefs scored 28 points in a quarter. And as good as the Titans defense has been, they're not going to be as good as they've been the last 2 weeks. So, really no surprise here. I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game. I think it's going to be, I think the Titans will have some more success on offense this week than they have the last couple weeks. I don't think it's going to be a slaughter. I think, Derrick Henry will look good. Maybe they keep it close for a little bit. But over the time of this game, I do think Mahomes is just going to keep moving the ball downfield, and the Titans just won't be able to keep up. Ryan Tannehill hasn't even thrown for 100 yards in the playoffs yet this year. So I do think the Chiefs win. I think it'll be like 27-18, something like that. About a 7 to 10 point game. I do think the Chiefs have faced adversity all year, and they've faced it again last week, and have just kind of been they're a complete team right now. They've had their journey, and I think they're just absolutely rolling and will be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. And then for the Packers-Niners game, a lot of people are looking back at the last time this game happened. It was 37-8. Niners just slaughtered Green Bay. And I agree. The Niners are a significantly better football team than the Green Bay Packers. I think a 7-point spread in this game is about right. I will say this. I don't expect a repeat of what happened last time. The Packers had really 2 games this year where they just laid eggs. The Chargers and the 49ers, both times was ironically West Coast trips. Weird games. Like the O-line that's been fantastic all season was great again last week, even though Brian Bulaga sat out with like a flu bug or something. Throughout the season, the Packers' offensive line has been one of the best in the league. And in that game against the Niners, granted the Niners have a great pass rush, they were just, like a revolving door. Rodgers was not good. He was not particularly sharp. The receivers were not sharp, and the defense was miserable. This team's, I think, come a long way since then. They've learned a lot about themselves, and I don't think in a conference championship game, this is a team that is going to just, come out and play flat like they did. Now, the Niners are the kind of team that forces that upon teams. They're just an unbelievable freight train right now. They're so talented at pretty much every position group. Defensively, their line, their linebackers, their coverage, and they got a good coach. They got a good defensive coordinator. They're just loaded defensively. And then offensively, great offensive line. The best play caller in the NFL right now, probably. Jimmy Garoppolo is playing at a very high level. He will probably make a couple mistakes, and that's going to be a path for Green Bay to maybe keep this thing close. And as we've seen in these games, it often comes down to a couple plays here or there. And then, they got crazy receiver talent. You've got Kittle, obviously, is a huge mismatch problem. I don't know, Green Bay cannot put Blake Martinez on George Kittle. it's going to be a disaster. You got to have Adrian Amos come down to the box and try to stop him, and that opens up lanes for other guys like Sanders and Debo. So the Niners are just so well-rounded. Green Bay is basically going to have to play a perfect game. Now, basically what I'm saying, I don't think that it's going to be a slaughter. And you also got to look back on that game, 2 months ago. Brian Bulaga left in that game in like the second quarter, first quarter, which very well could happen again. Bulaga is just injury-prone as hell. But the difference is the Packers went out and signed a veteran in Jared Veldheer, a former All-Pro kind of player who played great against the Seahawks. In that game, they didn't have Jared Veldheer yet. That game was the reason they signed Jared Veldheer, because if they played the Niners again, they didn't want that to happen. They had to go to Alex Light, who's like an undrafted free agent, practice squad caliber tackle that the Niners just put Nick Bosa on there for the rest of the game. And when you watch that game, that was a huge factor. Rodgers was not sharp. I will give you that. But he was getting sacked every single play because Nick Bosa was just running around Alex Light. So that is going to be completely different. You either have Bulaga or Jared Veldheer, which is a significant upgrade. So I do think this is going to be a competitive game. I think the Packers offense is going to struggle a lot. But I also think that this Packers defense that has a pass rush that, quite frankly, is about as good, if not better, than the 49ers pass rush. The Packers pass rush has been phenomenal for about 6-7 weeks now. They have been the best pass rush in the NFL consistently since about the end of November. So I do think it's going to be a competitive game. I will say, I just think that the Niners are too much for Green Bay. I think that the Niners are going to do a much better job with Richard Sherman dealing with Davante Adams, because you either put Adams over there with Sherman, who can lock him down and has in the past, or you put Adams on the other side and you double Adams. They're going to need Jimmy Graham to be the playoff version of himself last week and not the bottom 3 tight end in the NFL that he's been. And they're probably going to need, the Zadarius Smith and Jaire Alexander and these guys. Someone's going to have to make plays and create turnovers, and they're going to have a little luck to win this game. At the end of the day, I just think the Niners are going to overwhelm them. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to keep it a little close, but I'm thinking, 27-20. I think the spread's about right. I do think the Niners win. So like I said, not a ton of surprises in this one. Picking both the favorites, the two teams that I picked to go to the Super Bowl in my playoff predictions video, I will stand by that. So 49ers Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and then if that is the case, I don't see anything changing with my original playoff predictions video. This was the game I picked, and I picked the Chiefs to then lose to the 49ers, flipping my preseason pick of the Chiefs. So that's it. That's where I stand on this upcoming weekend. Some reflections on last weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Hit that like button down below. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to go ahead to Starbucks and get to work on some of these prospect breakdowns. If you want a Madden roster update real quick, I will have a 2022 draft class uploaded after that draft tomorrow night for our league, which will be cool to have that for Madden. Then also, I will be getting some updates done on the draft classes, hopefully at least getting all of the declarations and stuff of guys going to school, coming back to school, before I head to the Senior Bowl next Tuesday. So there's some Madden updates if you need it while I'm here. All right, peace out, guys. Hit that like button. See you later.